Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing.
So we're getting ready to go, making sure everything works. And this ring used to go right here. So evidently this was not stainless. And after sitting here a year, she's no good. So I'm gonna replace it with a stainless one. I'm gonna need a pliers, darn it. And there we go.
This is why you don't use things that are magnetic on a boat. So, our solenoid for the windlass is just dead. I've been fighting a potential bad grounding problem for a while. This is the replacement solenoid. I'm gonna see if I can get this in here. First, I've got to get the old one out, and we need to get a good look at it. So I had to pry at this a lot to get it off, but as we can tell, this thing is, well, dead. The next thing I have to get off is that wire right there, because regardless, we're gonna have to make a jumper that goes between those two positions. When I was taking off the mounting bolts, which, as a random note, mounting bolts should be placed down with the nut on the bottom. Makes it easier to install. When I was messing with it, I found this. This bolt is completely useless. Rusted through. Instead, we're gonna try to use these. They're around the right size and should work. So, we've finally gotten it working. We've tracked the wires.
I'm tightening up the last connections.
Everything was hooked up correctly. It was just not quite tight enough on the new piece. Well, spare piece.
Yeah, it's not new, but it is. There we go. Everything's tight.
And to demonstrate.
Yep, here we go. This is a beautiful sound right here.
With that, we're going to try to get it bolted back on.
Yep, we're gonna bolt her up.
And then get stuff put away. We will be leaving in a matter of hours, yes. This is the last trash run before we head off. So goodbye, Luperon. So the next thing we have to do is swap that crane to the other side of the standing rigging so we can lift up the dinghy, get the jack lines laid out, get everything tied on, and untie ourselves from the mooring ball. But first, we're going to eat breakfast, enjoy breakfast, and then get going on leaving.
Good morning, everybody.
Outside of getting all this set up,
This is our day to leave. We are taking the Old Bahama Channel. We didn't get out yesterday, I'm sorry, but our windlass decided to go on the fritz, and so Sam and I spent about 3 or 4 hours fixing that. It was just a bad relay and a bunch of rust and bad connections, but everything's working great now. So that was the last little piece. There's always something. I don't know how to say this enough. There's always something. And I'm sure when we get underway, there will be something else as well. But we have our charts ready. We have the radios tested. We'll be updating the blog at sailingwithgrace.com via the shortwave radio, the ham radio. And it's going to be fun. This is going to be one of our longest sails that we have done nonstop from point to point in a lot of years. So we will see you all in Florida.
So it is been a few hours and we are well underway now. We're dealing with around 25 knots of wind. We're making 6-ish knots last I checked. 6 to 7 foot seas. And we've got all our sails up. Both of us have experienced a little bit of seasickness, which seems to be fading a little bit. And we've got the autopilot on. Well, we had decided earlier that we might be doing more, sailing, but then we got into the water and it is neither 4 to 6 foot seas, nor is it 10 to 15. We had 17 and it seems to be calming down for the moment, but it was 17 to 25 knot wind. So with confused seas and that, we decided to use the autopilot. So I'm on first watch tonight. Can't say I feel super hot. Still feeling a little seasick. And the main boom, because we didn't put the jibe preventer on beforehand, is being especially annoying right now. It always looks like it's going to crash jibe on me, especially given how nice the wind is right now. Not the waves, the wind. Generator's on to charge up after running the autopilot all day. And aside from that, we've been going 6 to 7 knots, almost hitting 8 once for the past while.
Yesterday, we were being thrown around like crazy because the wind was 25 knots. You had to hold on for dear life to even climb up the hatch. So it's a lot nicer today. It's smoother. We are rolling some, the waves are splashing some, but it's been really smooth. It's been a really smooth sail.
This is night 2 and I'm picking up on the first night shift. We are headed about 7 knots, Wind speed around 20 knots. Wind direction out of 094. And I'm gonna wake up Dad in about 4 hours.
Morning, everybody. This is the beginning of day 3. We're just north of Guantanamo and a little bit to the southwest of Great Inagua. Last night I went to run the generator to charge the batteries and it died. It clogged again. So I turned it off and I tried to charge with the engine, with our Balmar, and it didn't charge very well. It looked like it was going for a little bit, but then sometime in the night it quit. And so I got up this morning to check on it and it wasn't charging, and we had one light left on our batteries. So we were down to less than 10% battery charge. If we lose batteries, that means we lose navigation, we lose autopilot, so this would be bad. So, oh, and our handheld died. One other thing. What else could go wrong? So, got up this morning. Where's the bike pump?
It's downstairs.
We have a hand bike pump. And so, this morning, I went ahead and hooked up the bike pump and blew the clog out, and now the generator's running fine. So we're going to keep this bike pump. This is a nice thing to have.
No, funny
But
story.
in the process, I got diesel on my fingers. We were cleaning up some diesel with the rag that was in the fuel lines because I got a little bit on the batteries. I didn't think that was a good idea. But I went to come out here, and because my hands were a little slick from the diesel, I slipped off the rail over there, and I fell back and hit my head against the side of the cabin, and I landed on top of the refrigerator and then down to the ground. So this morning I have a splitting headache right behind the eyes, and my ears are ringing. I haven't hit my head that hard in a long time. So, you never know when some wave is going to come at exactly the wrong moment. You never know what you're going to need. So we've been sitting with this bike pump for 3 years, and it just saved our butts this morning. So the problem with our centerboard is this little switch right there, a limit switch. And I think it's just old or got some salt water in it or something over time, but we're going to take it apart. This one is the one that limits it going down, and there's another one that limits it going up, and it's the one that limits it going up that we need to work with. Oh my, what a mess.
But it looks like it is a rebuildable object. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to take it completely apart, take it out of here. You know what I mean? That was put on there before
They put the centerboard on?
Yep. There's a bolt. There's a bolt. Ah, okay, it'll come off.
Now you just got to get it put back together. Now we just got to get it. It's not all the way back up, but now we just got to get the switch back together.
Yes, but it is in the position where the switch would touch it.
Yes.
Let's get some WD-40.
So now we're just going to hit it with... Will the WD-40 get in the way of the contacts?
I don't think so, because I'm hitting it on the outside.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, it's broken.
Oh, it's actually just broken?
Look at this. See that little piece in there?
Yeah?
Oh no, that's just grease.
That little piece moves in, yeah. So what we're doing right now is just trying to free up the mechanism inside. And so we sprayed a little bit of WD-40, and now we're working the part before we put it all back together. Well, here we are back again, night shift. Dad has climbed in to get some rest. It is 9:30 and we are hopefully around 4-ish hours to the next waypoint. We're about to enter the Old Bahama Channel proper. Plan is to stay generally towards the blue and a little bit away from Cuba. That right there is Cuba. We can't really get a little bit too close, can't get too close to that. Sails are holding. We're still jib and jigger. We're headed an average of 5.5 knots. And that's about it. Either way, see y'all Morningside. Good morning.
So, Hannah's making coffee, and it's a beautiful morning. Winds are really, really light right now, 10 to 14 knots. Seas 2 feet, maybe 3 sometimes. And we're making about 4.5 knots. We're 19 miles from the entrance of the Old Bahama Channel. So we're about 30 miles off of the Cuban coast, heading northwest, about 320. Anyway, the autopilot's working. We're jib and jigger, which seems to be our favorite point of sail. And last night, a couple of interesting things happened. Right over that way, almost just a little bit east of north, just south and or just down into the east of Cassiopeia, there was a line of, they just showed up suddenly, all 9 or 10 of them all at once, about 4 fingers above the horizon in a straight line. 9 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They didn't move. They didn't do anything. And then finally a cloud went in front of them, and by the time the cloud moved, they were gone. I have no idea what that was. Never seen it before. I just looked. 1 minute they were gone. The next minute they were there. Then they were behind a cloud.
Mutual delusion.
Shared delusions.
Shared delusion.
Come say hi, Hannah. No.
You want this water to spill?
No.
You don't have any pot minders.
We were supposed to have pot minders for the stove. We had a welder working on it. He didn't get them done in time. So you have to stand there and hold everything. But also last night, the generator quit 3 different times. Ran for about an hour, quit. Ran for about an hour, quit. There's something in the tanks, and we use the bicycle pump to blow it out, and it runs for about an hour, and then it clogs again. We're considering moving it exclusively to the aft tanks, but the problem is the overflow. So the discharge from the diesel goes into that forward tank. And if I'm drawing off the aft tanks and discharging into the forward tank, it discharges into the forward tank until it overflows because it's clogged. So either we have to keep blowing the clog out, or we have to take the overflow line and run it to the aft tanks. We have enough hose to do that, but I'm missing a T connector. And I thought we had a spare T connector, but it's the wrong size. So for the moment, we are stuck just blowing it out and letting it run for an hour. I hate intermittent problems, but at least we know what the problem is. And like we've said before, we can't solve the problem underway because I've got to be able to clean the tank, and to clean the tank properly, I need to pull the generator because the tank is underneath the generator. For all you folks watching us, we turned our AIS off for the moment, and we're conserving power. We're using the autopilot right now, but I was steering by hand most of the morning because if the generator decides that it's not going to run, then we have to hand steer and preserve every power we have for navigation. So, and toilets, and water.
Okay. It's very nice out here. The wind is very calm. The water is very quiet. We started with a blustery afternoon last Saturday. And each day the wind has been calmer or more calm. And the water has been more calm and more quiet. It's not even splashy today, not at all.
Hey guys, so we're not doing a whole lot today. Winds are about 8 knots. We're making 3.5 knots. Sails are filled, and we're listening to Cuban music on the radio. So it's a lazy afternoon. It's hot outside, so we're staying inside. I don't know if you can see it, but it's dark blue that way, and it's light blue over there. Before I knew it, we were in 20 feet of water with an 11-foot draft. It's not charted. So, just a note, if you're going to take this channel, stay close to the channel itself. It falls off like a cliff. As you can see, when we're going into the sun. When you're going into the sun, you can't see the color change. When you look out this way,
Looks like the same beautiful sapphire blue. But over here, that's a lot lighter blue.
I don't know if you checked it out or not, but it's sapphire blue and that's blue-green on the horizon. And we were right in the middle of the blue-green.
This is how we're going so far. Everything's going okay. I'm about 30 minutes till the end of the shift. And after about 5 days of sailing and doing little random bits of maintenance here and there, this is what it looks like.
So it is Wednesday morning at about 10 o'clock in the morning. We had a very quiet night. We made about 4 knots, maybe 4 to 5 all night long. Seas are 1 to 2 feet. Winds are almost straight out of the east. We had to tack 1 time, so the sails are out to the starboard now. Just a little tiny bit. Anyway, we're about 150, 160 miles from Florida at this point. We had eggs and toast and coffee this morning, and it was a beautiful morning. And now it's just about the time that it's going to start getting hot. So it was a quiet night. Another thing that we were thinking about and talking about this morning was the fact that we've been now completely unplugged from the internet, from our phones, from any outside communication, except for a little bit of radio stations. We're listening to Cuban radio on the ham radio, on the AM channels. So in this time, we've all noticed that we can hear our own thoughts again. When you're not being constantly fed this stream of information, it makes you realize how important knowing things yourself are, because you can't Google it. We're in the midst of a conversation and we can't say, oh, well, Google that, let's find out about dolphins, right? If you don't already know it, you don't have access to it. And it's an interesting feeling. And I know that it seems something minor, but for everybody who's really, really connected all the time, this is an interesting experience. And it makes you realize how dependent we have become on the constant stream of information. And our thoughts are not our own. Our thoughts are fed to us in music, in news, in podcasts, whatever. We're just fed all this other information all the time. And when that information stops and all you have is your own thoughts, it's a very, very different feeling, and you realize how dependent you've become. So I would encourage people, if you want to know a little bit about this, disconnect for a full week. A whole week. Turn the phone off. I bet you can't do it. 1 week. It's been an easy day today. We've been kind of lazy, so we've let the autopilot do everything all day today. But what you see is how it's been all day long. 10 to 15 knot winds. We're making 4 to 5 knots, and it's just smooth out here. It's beautiful. We had one jibe, so we've moved from a starboard tack to a port tack, and that's really about it. So, by the way, these hats are a godsend in the sun. They're wonderful. And long sleeve shirts keep the sun off. It actually keeps things a lot cooler. So with an open cockpit like this, it's pretty hard to hide from the sun. So last night a bird came, sat right over by the gate and sat on the ladder. Some kind of land bird. I don't know what kind. It was kind of a long curved beak on it, and it sat full and leaned over and slanted with the waves. It stayed for the whole night. Put a whole bunch of poop on the deck. Sam had to clean up in the morning, and it left pretty close to first light. And that was kind of fun. It was fun to see. Turned on the engine for a bit, had a pod of dolphins show up. They were playing all around for probably an hour, maybe two. So that was kind of fun. But we've been out of sight of land the whole time. We've been listening to Cuban radio on the AM radio. That's been kind of nice. But that's what we've been doing all day. A whole lot of nothing, just watching the sea and the wildlife. Anything else?
It is currently the night shift, and I've been on shift since about 7 p.m.-ish. Dad went to bed early because he was really tired for whatever reason. I'm probably going to bother him about 11 to 11 o'clock-ish. I'm getting a little tired, but I'm doing fine. We're not far from we're about halfway done with the channel, and once we're out of the channel, we're going to get onto the Gulf Stream, and yep, we're almost there. Either way, see y'all in the morning. GoPro, stop recording.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hannah has made us eggs and toast with homemade bread. It was a quiet night last night. We were making between 4 and 5 knots, and sometimes even 6. The current here was 2 knots, so we were making 6 knots in 9 knots of wind.
And the current happened to be in the right direction,
Yeah.
as our course line too.
So we made really good time last night. As you can see, we've got 1 or 2 foot waves. We're just getting close to the Gulf Stream. We're about 3 or 4 hours away from the Gulf Stream. So we'll be crossing the Straits of Florida today and heading over to Marathon. I think we'll be in Marathon Friday morning, maybe Thursday night. But I think probably Friday morning. Last night we had to jibe at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and at about 4 in the morning there was a tanker coming straight at us, and so I had to get a hold of them on the radio, and we had to change position a little bit. That was really about it. It was a quiet night. Anyway, so this is what now? Is this day 5 or day 6? This is day 5, right?
I think it's day 5. It's the 29th.
I think it's day 5. So, Lila has finally gotten used to this, so she's not hiding down below completely seasick. The first couple of days she was pretty seasick, about 3 days worth. But she's gotten used to it now, so she's wandering around. She started eating again. We were a little worried because she didn't eat for the first 2 or 3 days, and she started getting pretty thin. So.
And she was miserable.
Yeah,
you know,
poor cat.
when the animal is miserable, it's really sad. She meows in the most pathetic sound. Poor kitty.
We are very dependent on the generator for electricity, and this particular trip we've been using the autopilot a lot. That means we have to run the generator for about an hour every 4 hours of sailing to keep up with everything. So you can probably hear the generator running in the background right now. And of course we have to run the generator in order to use our electric stove. Anyway. I don't know what to say. This is a typical morning. Well, this is going to be our last night. We're about 40 miles away from Marathon, and we will be there probably about, I don't know, just right before sunrise. So we're about to make a turn to the starboard. We'll be on a beam reach for the last bit with about 11 to 12 knots of wind. So we'll probably be making 4 knots, maybe 5. And like I said, we'll be there in the morning, about 10 hours from now. GoPros. Oh, we're having homemade cookies.
I've had them for the entire trip, but this is one of the containers we got.
Yeah, they are white chocolate cranberry oatmeal.
One of our very most favorite.
On our final leg,
Might want to.
we're 38 miles away. We're doing 6 knots in 15 knots of wind. So it's just sunset right now, and we will be there. Morning, everybody. It's Friday morning at 6:30 in the morning. The sun is just up, and we are arriving half marathon. We got here a little early, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't really want to enter the harbor at dark after being gone for a year. So we decided to kind of make a few loops and zigzags outside of the Hawk Channel out there until sunup. And once we started getting the first rays showing up about an hour ago, we started heading in. So we're going to go straight into the harbor, we're going to anchor, and then we're going to get some showers.
GoPro, stop recording.
Hey folks, like, subscribe, tell your friends. It really does help, and it helps the channel grow, it helps us get higher in the search engines, and if you do feel like you can, please donate and help us out on the journey and help us restore this boat. We have a Patreon link, we also have a PayPal link on our website. And we have our ghost pilot.
Autobahn pilot.
Autobahn pilot.